Hi guys and welcome to Moonface Makeup. In this video I am going to be doing a Joker makeup tutorial. I'm going to explain to you some of the products that I'm going to be using throughout this makeup tutorial, and I will tell you the ones that you do need to have and some of the ones that you can probably just swap with just face paint or other products which you might already have at home. Firstly, I'm going to kick off with the face paints. We're going to be using two face paints today. We're going to be using a white face paint from Snazeroo, and we're going to be using a green face paint. This is from Makeup FX. I think I got it from Hobbycraft. I got this from eBay with a pack of 6 other neon face paints. I think they were super cheap. I think it was like £2. So as well as using face paints, I'm also going to be using grease paints. This is a Kryolan Supercolour grease paint palette. I'll just show you this here. Grease paints you don't need to activate with water. You just plonk your makeup brush in them and go. Face paints you're going to need to add water to them to activate them. We are also going to be using today liquid latex. This one is also from Kryolan. This liquid latex is the see-through one. You can also get skin coloured liquid latex, so obviously when it dries it's gonna dry into a certain skin tone. Definitely recommend the see-through one, seeing as you can use it for pretty much anything. I am also going to be using a bit of Special Effects fake blood. I'm also going to be using congealed blood. Now this stuff makes me feel a bit weak at the knees. I'll just show you it in the pot. It looks like mushed up jelly. You can buy this again online from Kryolan. And this is what it looks like. Yummy. So to apply the makeup I'm going to be using tissue paper and these 3 face painting brushes. They are Funky Fox's makeup brushes, face painting brushes should I say. A wet damp beauty blender for face painting and a triangle sponge for the latex. So the first step for this look is to create the scars that the Joker has around his lips. I'm going to be creating this using latex and tissue paper. It's probably the most effective way of doing so. So we're going to want to pour a little bit of latex into a pot. Bear in mind, obviously latex dries quite quickly, so you don't want to be leaving it out for a long while before you use it. Otherwise you're just gonna waste it really. Right, word of warning, latex absolutely stinks. So I haven't poured too much into this part. I've only poured, I'd say, about a tablespoon's worth. Because latex is quite expensive, you don't want to be chucking it away willy-nilly. So to apply the liquid latex onto the face, I'm going to be using this triangle sponge. Before we dip this into the liquid latex, we're going to want to rip one edge of it into like an uneven edge, if that makes sense. I'll just show you and you probably will understand it better when I show you. So I'm just going to be ripping right until we've got an edge like this. When we apply this onto the face with a ripped up sponge, it is going to apply onto the face unevenly, so you don't see, say, a wrinkled edge of where the skin has dried to the latex. So, dipping this into your liquid latex, and you want to apply along here. See, I'm dabbing this onto the skin, I'm not dragging it. And we're going to want to do the same on the other side, like so. So now this is dried, we're going to do another layer of this and then add some ripped up pieces of tissue paper, like I have ripped it up like that, onto the skin. Once we've applied that tissue paper, we're going to put another layer of latex over the top of that and then repeat on the other side. So what I have done now is I've added up the layers with latex and more tissue, and I have started to go around the edge of the lips. What we want to do now is to wait for all of this to dry. So now that this is dried, we're going to go in with a sponge and some white face paint, and we are going to paint the rest of the face white. So we're going to want to scrunch up the eyes and crease the forehead just so we can get those aged marked looks. The more facial expressions you pull when doing this look, the more aged the makeup's going to look on you. So what I'm going to do is, instead of going over the tissue marks with face paint and making it damp and soggy, I'm going to go over it with some non-water activated face paint. Right, so once we've done that, we are now going to start creating the rips in the skin around the mouth to create the Joker's lovely smile. To create this, I'm going to be using a cotton stick. Hang on, what are they called? I'm going to be using a Q-tip to create this look. I'm just working the latex off the face and ripping it as I go along. So that's that side. It doesn't matter if the rips aren't neat or anything, because obviously it's a scar that we're looking at, so the more jaggedy and weird it's looking, the better. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So now we have created these flaps, we're going to start filling them in with red grease paint, or you can fill them in with red face paint, and start creating the red cut on his face. Start off in the middle with the darkest colour. So I've got a deep red here that I'm going to be using right in the centre, and as I bring my way out I'm going to be mixing it with this light red and then a few greens as well, just dotted in there. Remember to just keep on adding to it. The more darker colours you're going to get in there, the more realistic it's going to look. If it's all just one red, bright red colour, then obviously it's not going to look as realistic. And don't be afraid to make it look messy. This type of makeup is not meant to be pretty, so the messier and the less precise you make it, the more effective it's going to look. Okay, so as you can see, I've added more red, black, and I've added a little bit of white just to highlight some areas around the scars, just to make it look more 3D and more standout-y. So once I added all the colour, I started to smear it around the face, making it not as clean and as pretty looking as I could be. I've literally just got my fingers, rubbed it down off my lips, got the paintbrush, got the makeup brush that I was using, and literally just dotted it around the face, not trying to make it look pretty at all, just randomly swiping it wherever I felt it should go. The reason why I've done that is to take away from the look of the tissue paper underneath the skin. So the more you avert your eyes to something else on the face, the less people are going to notice the latex and tissue paper. So once we have done that, we're going to start putting some black around the eyes. This again is not going to be very neat, it's not going to be done precisely, it's going to be done as haphazard and as messily as can be. So to create the black eyes, I'm also going to be using black grease paint because it's easy to manipulate around the skin, and I'm going to be putting it on with a sponge. And then I'm going to just twist it into the skin with the sponge. So. And with your fingers, just blend it out as well. Putting some black lines in where my forehead creases are, and just making me look a bit more grabbier, because obviously the Joker is not the cleanest of people. So you can see in some of his close-up shots, all of his makeup is just running off him, dragged off him. So. We're going to now go in with the fake blood. Now I warn you, this can be a messy job, so I'm just going to go grab a towel now and put it on the floor, because I will absolutely be murdered if I get it on my carpet. Okay, so to apply the blood, I'm going to be using a cotton bud and obviously the Special Effects Dark Blood. I'm going to dip my cotton bud in the dark blood and just drip it in, letting it run down places where I think it would look most effective. So. Right, so now we have done that, we are now going to get the congealed blood and just pop it in the corners of the cuts. Again, we're going to apply this using a cotton bud. We're just going to scoop it out like so and place it in parts of the cut. Like so. Finally, once you finish the face, I'm going to start painting some bits of my hair green just to finish off the look. So this is the finished look. So this is the end of my tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like, comment and share, and I will see you next time with another look.